Oh, there you are. Perfect timing. Today we're going to talk about canon. What is canon, what isn't canon, and how canon doesn't matter. Particularly in regards to one singular character in the Sonic franchise, which is why I've brought you here to my Sega Dreamcast in order to start with a little bit of subjectivity when it comes to canon. So, how about you come with me and we'll begin playing a game, huh? So, when it comes to canon, in the Sonic franchise, there's a lot of contested canosity. We've got things like Sonic Spinball, which probably shouldn't be canon, but Sega of Japan says it definitely is canon, as stated here.
Here's a question from Golden Dawn. So Spinball is canon, despite the presence of the Deke characters, 16 Emeralds, and Tails' new tornado? Even if that Tails started building new tornadoes from SA1 onwards, how'd this work?
It's canon, and don't think too hard about
it. It's canon, but some things have been retconned. Some details have been retconned.
And, of course, we had an old quote saying, anything you want to be canon can be canon. But, to that I argue, it is more fun when a canon is consistent. But, it's even more fun when it's not. Because then I get to do speculation like we're doing today. When it comes to things like the character in question we're talking about, I would say it's about as canon as you want it to be. Now, why did I bring you guys to Grand Metropolis? Well, isn't it obvious? Sonic Heroes is one of those games that was supposed to bring a ton of canon, a ton of lore, but it just didn't. You see, at the same time, we had just gotten word that, well, Shadow had been X'd out of the continuity. And, no, that didn't happen. He's too popular. But he crashed down to Earth, and the next game was supposed to focus on Shadow, but the next game was also Sonic Heroes. So, if we're going to start focusing on canon, Shadow should technically be completely wiped off the map. However, he wasn't, just because fans wanted him to be here. So, he was. We got Sonic Heroes, where he came back, and then we had the new question of, is he an android, or a clone, or is he the real Shadow? And then we had Shadow the Hedgehog to answer that question. So, I bring the question one solid point. There is one character that has been brought up multiple times by modern Sonic. She has appeared in multiple games. She has even appeared in multiple comics. However, she just can't seem to catch a break when it comes to getting her face into a mainline modern Sonic game. Or can she? How about I take you guys for a trip, and we'll see about possibly making her a little bit more canon. Styx the Badger. She is a character that most would find really fun and amusing. Most of the time, unless you've played Sonic Boom. Any of the games. She's a lot more boring in those titles, and I don't entirely know why, other than writing and time limitations. She really didn't play a very big role in Rise of Lyric or Shattered Crystal, and only really mattered in Sonic Boom Fire and Ice, which 1 out of 3 is kind of horrid as far as ratios go. But she did play a huge role in the Sonic Boom cartoon series, as well as the lovely Sonic Boom Archie comic series, which didn't last very long. Poor Archie. However, when it comes to Sonic Boom's characters, Styx the Badger is the only one that appears all over the place. She's shown up in Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games. She's appeared during the Sonic and Archie Megaman comic crossover. In fact, she was the major player in getting everybody together. And of course, the biggest one of all, she's appeared in a little game known as Sonic Frontiers. And you might be saying, no, she didn't. She didn't appear in Sonic Frontiers. Only Knuckles, Amy, Tails, Eggman, and Sage appeared. Well, while that's true, Tangle and Whisper were both mentioned by name, as well as Styx the Badger during the ending cutscene, at least in the US version.
I wonder if Cream and Styx are free. Make a road trip out of it.
And I think that's enough of a play to at least make it slightly canon. In fact, I think that not only is Styx the Badger canon to the modern Sonic series, I think she's the exact same character as in Sonic Boom. And this is going to be a bit of a stretch, which is why I have to preface this with, canon is subjective, you can have fun with it, and if it's not true, you can always change it later. It's okay to disagree with the major lore implications of the franchise, so long as you're having fun. That's the whole point, isn't it? So how about we jump to somewhere else, and I demonstrate why I believe Styx the Badger in the modern Sonic universe might just be the same Styx the Badger that's found in the Sonic Boom continuity, and why I believe she is in fact a dimension-hopping badger. So let's start with the most interesting piece of Sonic Boom lore. Sonic Boom, the game, has different lore compared to Sonic Boom, the show. In fact, it's to the point where it all hinges on one single character, Lyric. Apparently, somebody on the show staff wasn't on the same page as the game staff, and somewhere in the middle, some writing got mixed up. The character of Lyric ends up being a whole crux point for why there are multiple Sonic Boom timelines, even though Sonic Boom is such a short-lived series in the Sonic universe. But the Sonic Boom comics are intended to tie in to the Sonic Boom show, the only part of Sonic Boom that was actually profitable enough to stick around longer than the games. Meanwhile, Shattered Crystal and Rise of Lyric are also technically their own two separate timelines, once again because of how Lyric was treated, but we're not going to get into that. We're talking about Sonic Boom the show, Sonic Boom the Archie comics, and all of the other modern Sonic media that has come out with Styx the Badger, or lack thereof. And we're going to talk about some Sonic.
So I would like to say, due to the lack of official media sources with Styx the Badger, it is actually rather difficult to say whether or not any of this is truly canon, meant to mean anything. So, while all of this may seem very flimsy, just know that it was always going to be very flimsy. Unless somebody in the comments can tell me some definitive evidence one way or the other. So, my first example has to do with the Archie comics. Styx the Badger is just conveniently next to a portal, where X and Zero steps through. It is a ring-shaped portal, it is known as a Genesis portal in the comics, and for as much as it is, it's not a ring, but it was never going to be a ring. Because at this time, Sonic teleporting through giant rings, while it had been established in the games, it wasn't established in most of the external Sonic media. Now the portals look, while it's purple, it is very similar to the way the rings look in Sonic Cross Worlds. And because of that, it makes it pretty easy to say that this is probably just another ring portal without the ring around it. It's flimsy, it's weak, but also, at this time, most external Sonic media didn't really play with the rings as being something from the universe. It was just a gameplay element for the most part. But I do like the fact that nowadays we are getting more of this. We are getting more external Sonic media playing with the actual elements themselves. So Styx just being next to a portal, perfectly normal, perfectly fine. And in fact, I think that's even funnier. Hear me out. The fact that she just happens to be next to a portal, walks through it, and oops, I guess she's on a different island that looks almost identical to Angel Island. Well, isn't that kind of silly? It's just perfect. It fits Styx. It fits the series. So if you're at all thinking that maybe this is a stretch, it is. But I think that it's more fun this way. And that's the whole point, is to have some fun. So, that's my first bit of reference here. The fact that she's next to a portal when it opens. Now, is it a ring portal? I don't know. Do you consider the Genesis portals ring portals? I do.
So, aside from Sonic Boom, Rise of Lyric, Shattered Crystal, and Fire and Ice, we also have Sonic Runners for mobile. I know that may not seem like a lot, but that's something. They also appeared in the Mario and Sonic at the Rio 2016 Olympic Games for Wii U and 3DS, where she actually played an important point in the story. And by important, I mean about as important as a Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games story can be. And of course, she was also mentioned in Sonic Frontiers, which, looking at all of this, it isn't a lot, but there are some key points. Here. One, she has the exact same design across all of these appearances, which doesn't seem like a lot, but it can mean something. Also to note, all of these games are in fact modern Sonic games. They're games that feature modern Sonic. They do not feature any other Sonic Boom character. These games don't really focus on any other Sonic Boom character aside from Styx the Badger. And with her having the exact same design and us knowing that she does have a history of alternate dimension hopping, and particularly with rings in the Archie comic series, it is very, very possible that Styx the Badger is in fact the exact same character across all these entries. But there's one more thing that I'd like to fit in here that could go a long way to convincing you that Styx the Badger might be the exact same character across this entire franchise. Shall we?
Sonic Boom!
So we're going to be looking at two specific episodes of the Sonic Boom cartoon, both of which feature an alternate universe Styx the Badger. I chose these two because these were the two that were listed on the Wikipedia page when doing research, and I feel they fit very nicely in with the Archie Comics portals. So let's start with Sonic Boom Season 1, the episode Too Good to Be True. The episode starts with Sonic and the gang fighting off Eggman's robots, but something is different. Eggman is green, Sonic is acting like Knuckles, Knuckles is acting like a brave hero, Amy is in love with Knuckles, but Knuckles gets hit with a purple beam and phases out of existence. Kind of. Just changes universes. Eventually Knuckles meets up with the main universe gang, and they have him wear a blue pointed hat. Tails hasn't figured out what's going on yet, so they go to meet Dave, food stand attendee. He doesn't care what's going on, and Tails finally figures out that, hey, they say it's limited time to drive up false demand, and also that Knuckles is from an alternate universe. At which point, Styx runs in fear of two of herself existing, because she can't quite trust herself. Tails wants to recreate the beam to send Knuckles home. Knuckles just wants to take something that Eggman may or may not even have. Sonic explains that they aren't aggressors, but Knuckles doesn't care. Both of the Knuckles end up storming out, And the next time we see Sonic and the gang, they are giving the main universe Knuckles a card apologizing for alternate universe Knuckles' behavior. But our Knuckles can't lift the card and then falls into the floor when he stands up. I think our universe Knuckles might be a little bit iron deficient. Alt Knux is starting to phase out of existence, and so is our Knuckles. Eggman catches Alt Knuckles, and I'm groaning from the pacing. This episode has been very oddly paced. Sonic breaks into Eggman's lair to save Knuckles, and this scene is great. Eggman catches on quickly and agrees to help, but he needs the lasers back by Thursday because he's having a party. You know, laser parties. They then pad the episode with waiting for Tails to get batteries to fire up the beams, then a goodbye. Knuckles goes home and the episode ends. The episode had a great premise, but terrible pacing, and sadly, for today's episode, no conclusive answers on our ring portals theory. But the beam that sent Knuckles to the main boom continuity was made up of a blue beam and a red beam, and what sent him there was a purple beam. So it could be shooting the same stuff that the rings are made out of from the Sonic universe, mostly blue, and something else that makes it a boom universe beam. And the purple that it created was nearly identical to the Genesis portal that appears next to Styx in the Archie comics. But that isn't much of a conclusion, it's more of a hypothetical theory for why the portal is different. Luckily, Season 2 changes some things, somewhat for the better. So, Sonic Boom Season 2, where have all the Sonics gone? Eggman is bringing a cake to Mombot, a mother figure for this Eggman. Isn't that a weird thing to have in common with the adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog? But never mind that, he's late, and Mombot says he considers Steve, a robot shapeshifter built by Eggman from another dimension, to be Eggman's brother. Steve wants to be called Morpho, turned into Vector, then Metal Sonic, then Shadow, then back to Steve.
What was that?
They start fighting like children. Mombot sends them out to stop Sonic, and Sonic and Knuckles are kart racing. When a blue portal opens up and catches Sonic, Eggman mentions the episode we reviewed just a minute prior, and Steve reveals that he sent Sonic into a universe without Sonics. And the sky is purple here. In this world, Knuckles is a workout trainer, and we cut back. Steve's plan is to take Sonic's place and stop Sonic's friends one by one, but Amy instantly sees through it, and Steve says Bugs Bunny's catchphrase. Steve is baffled by this, and Eggman is not surprised. We catch back up with Sonic, and he's dealing with alternate Amy, who calls Sonic a creep, and this Eggman, who is the ruler of this world, shows up in a black and gold outfit, looking rather snazzy. Sonic gets captured, and what was the point of starting to read Sonic his Miranda rights when he follows it up with, he has none in this world? Just a little odd. Dave is in the jail. Dave actually cares about his job in this universe, and that's a nice change of pace. Amy ends up saving Sonic and Dave, and we see Styx, who is the leader of the rebellion against Eggman. She's also got an eye patch, and is just as paranoid about aliens as the main Styx. Amy and Styx haven't heard of Tails, and they laugh at the thought of Knuckles joining the team. Steve tries to order a salad, and no one believes he's Sonic. Which, let's be fair, Sonic would have ordered a chili dog. Sonic tries to recruit Knuckles, and does it quickly by racing to the Burger Shack before Knuckles can even finish his sentence, and then instantly go to Eggman's lair. They climb to the top and find Tails, who is Eggman's sidekick. Eggman finds them, and a battle breaks out. Yeah, animation here isn't that great, but at least it's better than Season 1. Tails doesn't move out of the way. Eggman nearly takes out Tails, but Sonic saves him. Tails joins everyone, and Sonic takes out Eggman. Tails sends Sonic home through another blue portal, definitely ring-shaped. And Steve is doing more bad Sonic impressions, saying slogans from Pokemon now, I see. But with the real Sonic back, Eggman and Steve's plan falls apart, and while it was a failure, Mom Bot is just happy to see her boys getting along. This episode was much better than the last one we looked at, and we can say definitely that to enter other worlds, Sonic and friends would just have to enter a portal, be it blue, or purple, maybe red, but it's not really a meeting between the Boom cast and the main universe cast. But we did see an alternate Styx the Badger here that played a bigger role than just a non-speaking scene. And while we can't say for sure that Boom Styx is the same as the main universe Styx, I'm going to bring up two major points of reference here for why it should be the case. There were two times where Styx the Badger was supposed to appear in the IDW series. Her cameos were both cut. In the one bit we have of pre-released art, we see that she was wearing the exact same outfit she has on in the show. And for my final point, come on! Wouldn't it be fun? The conspiracy theorist whose whole point is that she's a crazy conspiracy and can't see it? It could be an extension of the Badger meme, where badgers randomly appear in a field. It'd be fun! You know fans would go crazy for it. And she's really got a chance with Sonic Racing Cross Worlds being open to the fact that other characters can show up from the other cartoons. Now I know most are hoping for Sally Acorn, but I feel like Styx the Badger would do just the same for a younger demographic. Even then, why not give us both?
So I'd like to bring you to the thing that inspired this entire video. Sonic Racing Cross Worlds. It's a fun, goofy kart racer, but it does have some Sonic lore. There are the small bits of rivalry dialogue that we get. We also see the first time Tangle and Whisper have appeared on a home console. And to top this off, this is technically the first time that Sonic and Megaman have crossed over. Mind you, it's not the first time that Sonic has crossed over with Minecraft, but that's neither here nor there. It's also not the first time that they've crossed over with all of the Sega All-Stars cast, as the most recent one being II, who was added to the game. Now, I would like to make the point that technically, you don't have to count any of this as canon, but once again, canon is subjective, we're here to have fun. And I must say, what a time it would be if Styx the Badger could come over. Oh, wait. They've been trying to do that. In fact, Ian Flynn has been trying to do that since all the way back in 2018. I'm not even kidding. Now, wouldn't it be rather interesting if Styx the Badger came to Sonic Racing Cross Worlds? Like they'd ever add a cartoon character to... What is SpongeBob doing here? Yeah, that's right. They've already added cartoon characters to Sonic Racing Cross Worlds. Oh, and what's this? The director and producer of the game were confirming that any character is on the table. Any Sonic character is on the table, including Sally Acorn. Huh. Wouldn't it be rather interesting if Styx the Badger happened to be the same one from Boom and happened to be the exact same one that Sonic was talking about at the ending of Frontiers? Yeah. Huh. Mighty interesting. And of course, all of this evidence has to add up to one thing. Styx the Badger is a dimension-hopping badger. And I mean, you can't say it wouldn't be funny for the conspiracy theorists to have all of their conspiracy theories be mostly half-truths, but the major one being the fact that she herself is in fact a conspiracy theory, that she is the same exact person across multiple dimensions. You just can't prove it. So, yeah. I don't know. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and hopefully by next month I'll have a gripping video for all of you. And how do you like the new format? I do plan on doing more things in VR, so please just let me know how it is. Do you like it? Do you hate it? Is it better than the fursuit? You pick me. Pick it. Pick one. Vote in the comments. Tell me how it is, and I'll try to do better next time. I've been your humble host, Presto the Bunny. Good night, everybody.